From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's currently 7:38 here in the evening. I'm Fred Gossage along with Chase Wilson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. We're about to have a new severe thunderstorm warning coming for northern areas of Lawrence County, Tennessee. It's for the storm out here near the Henryville and Center areas that's continuing to get stronger and more organized. You see lightning here picking up on that. You also see a bit of a curl in the reflectivity pattern. This is from the Nashville NexRad. There is some mid-level rotation with that. We have seen that try to get more organized as well on our live X-band Doppler radar, scanning from Lawrenceburg in the lower levels as well. So we're watching that carefully. In addition, we do have a wall cloud live here on the Arctic Air Skycam network. Let's go to Links 3 and look at that. Now, this is back up toward the center area. We're looking westward to northwestward here from the north side of Lawrenceburg back up into this, and you see the updraft base here, the lower base and the wall cloud feature. You don't see anything hanging out of the wall cloud, but that is definitely an organizing storm rotation here that we're watching carefully. Temperature is 78, dew point 74. So the cloud base height not nearly as high as what it was earlier, because this is getting closer to a boundary from the rain cooled air from prior storms. That means there's also a little bit of spin in the environment with this. So we're going to have to watch this storm carefully. You know, we've talked about here today during our updates, and especially the 5 and 6 p.m. updates, that if storms interact with this boundary, we'd have to watch for maybe a stray isolated tornado. It's a very low chance, but if there's going to be one in the viewing area this evening, it's going to be from storms interacting with the boundary, just like what you see right here. And it would be out of a wall cloud development here that we would be watching for. So there's a new severe thunderstorm warning for northern areas of Lawrence County, Tennessee, far southern areas of Lewis County, Tennessee, and far southwest areas of Murray County in Tennessee. That's going to go
8:15
until 8:15 this evening, and they have put a tornado possible tag on it, meaning that they're watching for the potential for this rotation to try to organize. And you do see that mid-level rotation. This is from the High Top NexRad in Jackson County, Alabama. You see that out to the west-northwest of Center and to the west of Henryville. That's your weak rotation there. If it continues to intensify and organize, this may have to be upgraded to a tornado warning. So we'll be watching that very carefully. Center and Henryville in the path of this over the next couple minutes. And then we'll go ahead and do a storm track here. Now, out ahead of this, out ahead of the rotation, we're talking about quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds moving into Alexander Springs and the south side of Summertown and Etheridge over the next 5 to 10 minutes. But the potential for a rotation to come over you, here are the times of arrival. If the rotation organizes, Henryville, the rotation will be near you by 7:46. It's storming there already, but we're talking about that area of rotation. The south side of Summertown, I think it's mainly to your south, but the southern outskirts of you by 7:57. Etheridge 7:58. You may be very close or just to the south of the potential rotation. Alexander Springs, you're going to be very close to it as well, right around 8 o'clock. Jonestown 8:07, Pleasant Valley at 8:08, and Liberty Hill, Tennessee, if it holds together at 8:10. Now that the updraft is in rotation, this may hold together for a little bit longer than the other storms have so far this afternoon. So we'll continue to watch this carefully. Let's go back to Links 3. This is the Arctic Air Skycam network. You still see the wall cloud here. Notice the striations. That's your rotating updraft here. Warm air goes into this, and then the thunderstorm updraft itself is rotating, is how that works. And we'll be watching out of that wall cloud for the potential for maybe a funnel to try to develop, or something more than that if the rotation tries to tighten. We have not seen signs of that yet, but this is the area that we will watch carefully over the next several minutes. While we're here, for the next 3 minutes or so, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in northern parts of Lauderdale County in Alabama. They are going to let this expire, however, because the storm's not nearly as organized as it once was. But this could still be producing P to dime size hail, 40-mile-per-hour winds over the Cloverdale area, moving towards Zip City and Wilson over the next few minutes. Out here toward the north side of Underwood, Petersville to Bailey Springs, north of St. Florine. And then crossing US 43 here north of Killen, near and south of Green Hill for the next 15 to 20 minutes. We'll watch 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, P6 size hail possible with that, but the severe thunderstorm warning is going to be allowed to expire. There's other heavy rain and lightning up into Wayne in Lewis counties that I can show you very quickly before we go back to our main storm of concern. But these storms from Hohenwald back to Waynesboro, even though they have some lightning and heavy rain, maybe some 30, 40 mile per hour winds, they are not severe, and they're a lot less unorganized looking than the storm we have in northern Lawrence County. So we'll focus back on this thing here. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for northern parts of Lawrence County, Tennessee. In addition to clipping southern Lewis County and clipping southwest Murray County, that's going to run until 8:15 for the potential for quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour winds, but there is a rotation here. It's a little broad. It's not especially tight. It's not especially powerful, so that's why we don't have a tornado warning. And the Skycam is looking a touch disorganized compared to the past few minutes ago, but this storm is near a boundary. And anytime storms interact with boundaries here, you have to watch for the potential for something to happen. That's why we're staying on a couple minutes longer than we otherwise would for a severe thunderstorm warning. We'll go back to the Arctic Air Skycam network here on Lynx 3. And you see that the wall cloud is getting a bit more stretched out now. It's still here, but it's not as concentrated into one tight area as it was. It's more elongated now. You still see your striations here in the updraft, but things are getting a little more elongated, and that's often a sign that you're not necessarily right on the doorstep of immediately having a tornado to develop. However, with this interacting with its boundary, it's not going to take a whole lot here for this to try to organize its rotation a little bit and try to do that. Now, these conditions are here in Lawrenceburg proper. Notice that the wind is easterly in Lawrenceburg proper. You get over in the Wayne County, and the winds are more out of the west and the southwest. So that tells me that right over Lawrence County, Tennessee, especially the western half, there's a boundary here. It's that rain-cooled boundary from the afternoon storms where cool outflow air rushed out, and then off to the west where you had sunshine, that air mass has recovered. There's a wind shift along that, so that means that there's spin or rotation along that boundary. The upward motion in the back part of the thunderstorm here can ingest that rotation and turn it from a horizontal rotation into a vertical rotation, and that's what's happening. You get that to happen, and then if a couple more processes are favorable with the storm itself, you can potentially have a tornado to develop. Now, since things are a little more ragged looking here, I think we step back away from that for the next several minutes, but it could reorganize here, so we'll be watching that carefully. Since we've stepped back away from that potential for the next probably 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to go ahead and just summarize and then get back to our regular playlist and things like that. But we'll be watching this like a hawk behind the scenes, so we'll come back live if necessary if this rotation tries to tighten. Until 8:15, severe thunderstorm warning for northern areas of Lawrence County, Tennessee. It's north of Lawrenceburg. It runs here from Center to Etheridge to near Pleasant View, up through Henryville, Alexander Springs, and Summertown. The polygon goes back to NACO and Napier, but the storm's on past you now. The polygon goes up here to Sandy Hook, but the storm is staying to your south. It's mainly this northern part of Lawrence County, Tennessee. Severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15. We will watch things like a hawk behind the scenes, and should this rotation continue to get more organized and look like it's trying to produce a tornado, we will be back at a moment's notice to give you live coverage as necessary. For Chase Wilson, I'm Fred Gossage here live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.